Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley, I'm an exercise physiologist, and today we're going to be talking about stress, specifically related to work stress. Okay, so if you haven't already, you want to subscribe to my channel, you can press subscribe underneath the video here. You can like this video, comment, and share it with your friends and family if you feel like it will help them. Okay, so today we're talking about stress, and we have that good stress and bad stress. So when stress is chronic, it's something that's ongoing, it can really affect our health. And we've talked about this before. So it can manifest in our bodies in different ways, in our mental health and our physical health. And some of the diseases people have due to stress sometimes can be autoimmune, could be high blood pressure. It could be metabolic in nature due to using food and other substances to cope with the stress. Okay, so it's really good, I think, to analyze our lives. We can write down the pros and cons, maybe of our job or different situations, and really figure out whether or not the level of stress that we are feeling is worth the reward. Okay, and there's some studies done specifically on that I will talk a little bit about today. Okay, so in 2023, there were a few stats that the Psychology Today website produced. This is earlier this year. They said that managers impact employees' mental health by 69%. That is a lot more than 50%. And that is how much your manager has an impact over your mental health, whether you realize that or not. Okay, and this is based off of questionnaires that were given to people. 43% of employees reported to be exhausted at the end of work. While that's not necessarily a bad thing, it said also that 78% said that stress negatively impacted their work performance. So that is not what we want out of employees or how we want to feel professionally at our jobs, right? The last one, more than 80% of employees would rather have good mental health than a high-paying job. So that's kind of where I want your mind to be at. There's a lot of people, whether you're a blue-collar worker, you're someone who makes millions of dollars, if what you're doing to get there requires just destroying and damaging your health, you have to ask yourself, like, is it worth it? Are we using coping mechanisms like alcohol, food, drugs, substances, or just negative and poor behaviors to be able to adapt to the stress? And by the time we wake up, we're like, wow, what have we done to ourselves, God forbid, by just trying to get by. So some of life's stress we really can't get away from, but some, if we analyze it and we really focus on what we can do to make it better, make it a point in our lives to do that, sometimes we really can. So that's really the purpose of this video today. So another study in 2021, analyzing job stress and mental well-being amongst European men and women, again through a questionnaire. They analyzed what theories may help create productive systems that can be implemented in workplaces to help people with this job stress, because they're realizing that it's a big problem. And honestly, to get the most out of an employee, you want them to feel safe. You want them to be at least comfortable, at their job, and feel like they don't have any pressure that's not job related. Okay, so it goes into workplace social support. So having someone to talk to at work doesn't mean you have to gossip about things, but just to kind of vent, maybe get things off your chest, maybe have someone at work that you can trust, that you can talk to. Studies show that it really helps with the mental health status. Just having someone to listen to. So these people documented that the most stressful situations are high demand, feeling like you have low control, and low social support. So those three combined created the most work environment stress, okay, in that within that questionnaire. Okay, the next one was the job demand control. So this one weighed out whether the demand, people were able to use their skills within the demand. So whether or not they had control within the demands of their job. So that sometimes causes a lot of work stress if we feel like we're not being used to our potential. And so people sometimes get stagnant in their positions because they don't feel like they want to kind of get out of that. So being able to, again, voice how you feel, within reason, and then whether or not you have the control at your job that you're seeking, you can always grow and work towards that. So that caused a lot of stress and people feeling like they didn't have control. All right, the last one was effort rewards balance. So this one, a lot of jobs, we have the economy is changing and everything now. So we're not making enough to meet the demands and the changes of the economy. So inflation is like out of control and people are getting paid a lot more. So that can create a lot of stress in people. And then within this questionnaire, the ERI, effort reward balance, people felt stressed because they had this pressure and this demand to work so hard, but they weren't getting compensated what they felt is fair. Okay, so that's definitely something that can cause stress in anyone. You want to feel like your work is being paid for, properly. All right, so a lot of jobs now are looking at getting the most out of their employees, the most productivity, and they're coming up with these programs that are creating safe spaces and different things like that, when really I think it takes more looking at the individuals in your department or in your team and seeing how you can grow them and how to make them better at their job and give them kind of like little goals to work towards. It doesn't mean that they always have to have some sort of physical reward. Sometimes having like just a compliment or noticing like someone else's achievements or something they've done really well can really help alleviate some of the stress you don't know that they're actually going through. Okay, so we want to make sure that we don't get to burnout. Burnout is not a good place to be. Okay, those physical, social, organizational aspects of the job that require sustained physical and mental effort and are therefore associated with certain physiological and psychological costs. Okay, so this can cause work conflict, this can cause home conflict, you feel overloaded, and then the performance goes down, and I feel like too, when people don't have role clarity, when they don't really understand what their job is, they're not having that feedback, that can also cause a level of stress as well. And then you really don't feel like you're getting anywhere or doing anything meaningful, productive sometimes. Okay, and the only thing we can really do is voice our opinions, voice how we feel, maybe weigh out our options. And then after that, you really have to make decisions on whether or not you want to stay at a profession, if you want to do something different. But you shouldn't sustain such heavy, negative work distress for a long time. And definitely try not to cope with it in negative ways. I mean, we know this stuff, it's obvious, but sometimes we get caught in the day-to-day and we just think this is how it is, and we just keep going forward, all the while the emotional and mental and physical health could be declining. Okay, so other factors can be the feeling of trying to make ends meet, inflation as versus pay, as I had mentioned, commute. Sometimes a long commute can cause a considerable amount of stress, food preparations and food availability at work. So if you're not able to eat healthy at work, that can cause a little bit of stress and really not fuel your mind and your body for the work that you need to do, right? Decompression habits. So when you get home, what are you doing as your habit? Like, do you come home and eat a really big or really bad meal to reward yourself for all the stress that you had to endure throughout the day? Okay, I know that that's happened to me before, and we want to just kind of be mindful of those things. And then having access to water during the day. So nurses and different professions, if you're on the floor and you're not able to drink water, sometimes we get home and we eat so much because we're actually dehydrated and thirsty. Okay, so making sure that your work environment is conducive to your health as much as it can be. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit how to cope with this, because we have to work, we have to make money, and sometimes we do have to endure a certain amount of stress. Okay, I'm talking about stress that is so much that it is starting to affect our health. That's when it's going to be not good. Okay, so dealing with stress, and this is stuff from my experience and my research, you can do some deep breathing exercises. You can just get alone, maybe take a little break in the bathroom and just do some deep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Exercise is a great way to cope with stress. You can look forward to your workout after work, and it's hard at first to change that. If you're coming home, putting the TV on, ordering a pizza, whatever you're doing, it's really hard to change that habit to go to the gym, after you're already a little bit tired from work, right? So I will tell you, when you do that, you're going to feel so much better afterwards, and it's going to be something that's changing you for the better. So, and it's going to relieve that stress. You're going to feel a lot less stressed when you do that. Okay. Please remember that your worth is not in your job. Your worth is not in your career. You are whatever it is that you do, but that is not your main role. That's not your main position. So know that you have worth besides your success in your career. Okay. You want to trust the process. So, sometimes it's a mindset change, and being able to endure a certain level of stress for long periods of time sometimes builds character, and being able to know the difference of this is building my character versus this is affecting my health. And just being honest and real about it. Maybe talk to someone about it and see if it's something you're overacting about maybe sometimes, and just get the truth on that. So don't settle for a job you absolutely hate. Okay, if you hate your job, definitely write down the pros and cons. Be creative and express your concerns. Tell your job, tell your boss that this is affecting your health. Is there anything we can do about it? And then just go from there. You can only just be honest. And don't put pressure on yourself. If you're feeling a certain way, don't feel like I shouldn't feel this way. You are who you are, and you are the only one that can advocate for yourself, because no one else knows how you're feeling or what you're experiencing. All right, and you want to slow down. You don't have to say yes to everything. So just because, you have, your boss or whoever asking you to do something, you don't have to say yes to that thing. You can tell them that you're not able to handle it, and maybe someone else can take it over if it's really something that you're not able to endure. You want to look for ways to grow within the challenge. So when you're at work, how can I grow through this? How can my mindset change? If you're not going to change the job, how can you change for the better? Maybe looking at things in a different perspective sometimes helps to alleviate stress, and focusing on what you can do for others and getting the rest that you need in order to do that. And no job is worth your health. Okay. Yes, we need to work. Yes, we need to make money. But there's so many different jobs out there. I just encourage you to really analyze your life and just wonder if your job is causing you that stress that's affecting your health. Because we can take all the pills, we can do all the right things, do all the modalities and everything, but if we are enduring this chronic stress and it's not going away, it's really not going to get us very far. All right, so there's a Bible verse I want you to kind of think about, and it came to me this morning. It's Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So if you're a Christian, you know the Lord, you know that he's with you in this process, and he's going to get you through it. Okay, so trust in him, and he will show you what to do, whether you need to leave or whether you need to change your mindset or whether you need to just talk about what you're experiencing, to the right people in the right times. All right, so I'm going to link the articles below so you can check those out. You can look at the statistics, and this is something we've all dealt with in our lives, and it's a very real thing. We are made for so much more, and I think our jobs are a tool to get us what we need in this life, to help us to survive, but we don't always have to have exactly what we think we do, or think we need to endure in order to live and to be successful. Because I've talked about success before, and I really don't think it has to do with our job. I think it has to do with our mindset and how we're growing as an individual, and whether or not we're utilizing all the resources that we have. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you benefited from this information. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm doing videos once a week, so you can check me out next week right here, same place, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.